FCA Eurasia teammates, let's think for a little bit about how we do huddles. Some simple tips for just the organization and leadership of huddles. There are some simple things to think about. The first of those is purpose. What is it we're trying to accomplish when we get here? Is it discipleship? Is that our aim? Or is it a discovery Bible study where we're just looking to study the Bible and watch what unfolds from there? Or is it evangelism where we're taking people who don't know the Lord yet, but we want to introduce them to who the Lord is through using through using discovery Bible study, other things like that. So what is the nature of this group? Is it for discipleship? Is it for discovery Bible study? Or is it for evangelism? What is it we're trying to do? You have to set parameters, kind of like we talked with one-on-one things. It's wise to set parameters for groups as well. One of those, very key, is this an open group where we can invite other people to join us as we move along? Or is this a closed group where after we set the parameters, we get ready to go, it's just these folks and we're not going to let new people in, but we'll bring them into the next group or something. But determine, is this an open group where anybody can jump in, or is this a closed group where we're going to finish our work and then we can start a new group? Think about that. Again, think about dates and times. What day of the week works? What time of day may work? Do we have to manage childcare, or are we okay? Think about dates and times and those kind of logistical things, where and when. Think about the number of meetings. Sometimes your curriculum, what it is you're wanting to study, may determine that. It may be this is an 8-week study or this is a 10-week study, whatever it is, depending on what you're going to do. But think about the number of meetings or how many weeks. Or are we going to meet every week, or are we going to meet every 2 weeks? How is this going to unfold? Think about that for setting the parameters for your group. Think about the frequency, as we just mentioned. A lot of groups meet once a week. Some meet once every 2 weeks. It's really, really hard to do a group that meets once a month. It just doesn't have enough momentum from month to month to make it work. But I've found that once a week or once every 2 weeks can work pretty well. Some of the parameters I'd love to have you think about is, what's the nature of your group? If they're a high commitment group, lots of hunger in them, then you can expect it to go a little deeper in terms of substance. It can be deeper and stronger. But you can also make it less convenient. If the thing is deeper in content, you can get away with more inconvenience. Whereas if your group is shallowly committed, we're not sure how hard they'll work at this thing, they have a lower level of hunger, you should make it shallower, and you should not expect it to be as committed, meaning you probably need to make it really convenient for them to get there. Otherwise, they may just not show up. So figure out the nature of your group. Are they a very high commitment level group, or are they a lower commitment level group, and build the group in light of those matters. Second, another thing that may change throughout the life of your group is the more relationship you have, the less structure is required. This is an important thing about small groups, the way they work. But the inverse is also true. If you have less relationship, you need more structure. And so those things will slide up and down as the group knows each other better. It may come that the structure diminishes some, and because the relationship has come up. But often when a group starts, we need a lot of structure because we don't have much relationship yet. So depending on the nature of the thing, watch the structure and the relationship move back and forth a little bit. Another thought related to groups is also, even more than one-on-one settings, to finish a group well after having started the group well is really important. You start well by mapping these things out, looking forward as to, here are the dates we're going to meet, and here are the subject matter we're going to do, and here's how long it's going to take each meeting. Setting all those things in place and then executing them well. You get down to the end, it's really important to finish well. To get to the end and go, wow, we finished this material. It was awesome. It was so great having you guys here. What would you like to do now? We can start a new group, or we can bust up and make 3 groups out of our group, or what would you like to do? And so sometimes that's sporting seasons may play a part in that. Somebody may be coming on to their busiest season. You know what, I'm out for probably 10 weeks because we're going to be really, really busy, or things are going to change. But finish well, celebrate what you've accomplished, the things you've done together, celebrate those things, and then move ahead to the next thing. I'd like to tell you that groups can be done online as well as they can be done in person. They're different, but they can still be effective. I've done for decades lots of small groups, and I love it. We put everybody in a circle and we look each other in the eye, and we're going to talk very plainly and very directly right here, often in my living room in my home where I am now. But we've found ways to do these online as well. Some of those things that make groups work online and through a vehicle like Zoom is to be able to see everybody's faces really helps, because a good facilitator can read the facial expressions, can watch the body language, can see when somebody's ready to talk, they lean in and they may raise their hand or do something like that that lets you know they're ready to contribute. You can make sure their mic is open and all that kind of thing. But another thing that really works in online settings is if you're the facilitator, you're leading the group. It's really good just to ask direct questions. Hey, John, I know you've been thinking about this. Tell us what you think about this. Susie, tell me about what you're thinking. Hey, Sam, I know you had an experience like this. Andre, tell me about this that you experienced. Things like that. You can be a little more direct instead of just kind of throwing a question out there and letting it lie and hoping somebody picks it up. That's easier to do in a face-to-face group, but online, be a little more direct. Invite them in by name, and it works out fine. Also online, you may need to make your group meeting a little shorter than you might otherwise. Recently, we restarted the FCA group at the university here, and whereas the group at my house is normally 1 hour in length, it felt just about right to do 30 to 40 minutes is probably what we're going to do, just because everybody's been in front of cameras all day for class and all this other stuff. They're ready to do something simple, direct, clear, and be done. So I would expect that sometimes your online groups may meet for a shorter duration, and that makes sense, that it would be shorter in time any given day. In summary here, some thoughts about leading huddles. Think about the purpose. What is it we're trying to accomplish? You may even use the McAllen Sports Ministry map to think about who is there, how do we fit their mindset and their approach to sport so that we really hit the button on that thing. Set the parameters wisely for open or closed group. What day, what time shall we meet? How many times, how many meetings, how frequently shall we meet? Think about the relationship versus structure continuums and how those things work together. Which way should we have lots of structure because we don't have much relationship, or because we're good friends already, we don't need a lot of structure to be successful? Think about that. Think about starting well and finishing well, and you can have a great group, whether you meet face-to-face, in a room together, at a coffee shop, at a restaurant, or in your home, or even if you're online. You can still be effective in leading people in a great way. Let's go make some great huddles, and let's watch people's lives be transformed. Thanks.